And describe your first solo flight in a Blackhawk.
Ooh, I didn't. Well, we didn't. We can't solo in any of the Blackhawks. In fact, I didn't fly solo at all. They just brought the solo program back to Fort Rucker.
What do you mean? Well, you know what? The first time you were the pilot, put it that way, not solo.
First time I was the pilot, I thought I would never learn how to hover.
What does that mean?
Just holding the helicopter in one spot over the ground.
You couldn't do it?
I couldn't do it. I was awful.
Is that hard to do in a helicopter? Can't you just keep your hands still?
Well, now you can in some of them.
Wait, because the computer takes over, right?
Yeah, some of these are very
But no,
advanced.
manually. I mean, can't you just keep your hands still, or what? You got to adjust to the wind?
You got to adjust everything. If there's wind, depending on person in the back, how much they weigh, how much the guy to your left weighs, weight pretty much plays a difference in that too. But
so on your first, tell us what happened on your first time you were a pilot. You tried to hover, and what happened?
We went everywhere. No, just glad there was an instructor on board.
Like zing bang zoom?
Yeah.
Really? And so what did the instructor say?
Gave me some choice words.
Really? Like if you're gonna learn, if you're gonna fly in Afghanistan,
I was very fortunate to have and down there they do have the best instructors in the world there to teach you how to fly, and their techniques will work on pretty much anybody. So eventually, over time, you get it, you get more comfortable, and you just pick it up and go with it.
I'm just curious. You couldn't hover very well. What were you doing wrong?
Everything. Everything wrong.
I mean, were you pointed the wrong way into the wind?
No, you just overcorrect for everything the first time. Then eventually you realize that the subtle corrections are the ones that'll keep everything where you want it to be.
Kind of like when you're driving a car, and every time you're trying to get back in the lane, some people are herky jerk back in the lane. Just slowly give it a little bit, and you'll be back in the lane.
Yeah, it's kind of like driving with my mom.
Really? Is that how she drives? Well, then you have a good history of it. 219-845-1100, and let's see what Carl has to say. Hi, Carl.
Good morning. The pilot there said he's stationed in Kentucky. Is that Fort Campbell?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I was there in the 11th Airborne Division.
Oh, very cool. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for yours, keeping me free. I had a question for Bernie.
Okay.
I live in Frog Hollow.
Okay. Wicker Park.
Yes, and I had a call in for you. I know you're real busy, couldn't get over here, but there's a house on Maplewood Court that's been empty for a couple of years, and there's a 60-foot tall silver maple tree there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a silver maple tree sheds, don't you?
I sure do.
Well, I have about 65 gallons of propellers that I took out of my
whirlybirds.
Yeah, out of my gutters and off the driveway and everything. Somebody bought the house in the sale.
Okay.
I commandeered him when he was over here looking at the house, and he said as soon as he gets the deed registered, I can do whatever I want to with that tree and another one that's hanging over my garage.
Okay.
My question to you is, what do I have to have from him that says it's okay to cut them down?
And you know what, Carl? I know I've got your phone number. I know we exchanged messages a couple of times, leaving each other. We never could get each other. But I'm going to call Ken Micah today. I'm going to have him come over there, and he'll explain everything to you, what needs to be done, and he'll take care of the whole situation for you.
Okay. Well, I've got all of them cleaned up.
Okay.
And so I need to take some action. Who? Well, he probably can tell me who the town works with as far as the tree.
Yes, they have different ones that they could recommend.
Yeah. All right, get those whirlybirds out of the way. Thanks, Carl. Let's go to Lee on line one. Hey, Lee, what's up?
Hey, guys. I remember about back in the 70s, I used to fly Cessnas back then a little bit, and I was southwest of Chicago at about 3,000 feet heading west, and then I looked off my left wing and I saw a whole flight of Hueys, maybe about half a mile south of me, passing me up at probably about 130 knots. It was like one of the coolest things I ever saw, but I wanted to call in because I read a book years ago called Chicken Hawks, and like I say, I flew fixed wing a little bit, but the author of that book, he was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam. He stated that the difference between flying fixed wing and rotorcraft is like the difference between riding a bicycle and riding a unicycle. I don't know if these guys realize how tough it is to fly a helicopter.
All right, let's talk about it. Hey, and get a battery in your
okay.
mobile phone. All right, talk to you. Well, is that what it's like?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly flying a helicopter compared to a plane. A plane pretty much flies itself. A helicopter, it's kind of like a balancing act. You're working your hands, your feet, all at the same time. So
What do you do with your
everything's
feet?
got to work together. Well, you got to adjust the pitch of the tail rotor with the pedals.
Oh, that's what you do that with
Yep.
your feet? So you're not giving it gas with your feet?
No,
That's a hand control.
yeah, it's a hand control. That you adjust airspeed in a helicopter with pitch, so you nose the helicopter over. That's why you see them flying nose low all the time.
Nose low?
Yep.
You always see that? Why is that again?
That's how they get their airspeed. They pitch the helicopter
By turning
down.
into the wind with the propel. What do they call it?
Yeah, with the rotor.
Rotor.
Yep.
You got a bunch of people want to talk to you, so let's move through it. Let's talk to Gail on line 5. Hi, Gail.
Oh, to the Blackhawk pilot, thank you very, very, very much for your service. My brother was in the Air Force. But I wanted to say something about Highland Gloria Dei Lutheran Church on Orchard Drive and Ridge Road. On Thursday, 9 to 3, is having marvelous bake sale and rummage sale. So everybody come on out. Orchard Drive and Ridge Road.
All right. Thanks a lot, Gail.
Thanks, Gail.
Thank you.
Okay.
219-845-1100. Let's talk to Joan. Hi, Joan.
Hi. I wanted to thank the young man also.
My pleasure.
Would you consider staying in?
Yeah, I think so. I think staying in would be a smart choice. It's pretty cool. What is it? I think the statistic out there is less than 1% of the population has served the military, and then less than 0.5% of that 1% has actually served in a combat zone. So it's a pretty prestigious group, and the military, from what I've seen, is unlike anything you see in the civilian world. It's a huge family group. It really is. It's everybody's there for each other. To your left and to your right, everybody's got your back.
I agree. I was in the Air Force. Of course, it was non-combat.
Well, that's fine. Thank you for your service.
But you can imagine, how proud you must be of serving. And also, I wanted to tell Bernie that I called Republic yesterday, and garbage pickup is delayed one day.
Okay. That's what I'm kind of hearing, too. I just got a text,
Yeah,
too,
you got
from somebody.
another text.
So now I'm hearing it's Wednesday.
Yeah, so-
I'll tell you, Joan, I talked to a couple employees, and they said it was Tuesday, and I went to the town hall this morning, and we have a printout every month that's what's going on every single day for meetings and things like that, and it had trash day for today even on our memo, so
A
kind
lot
of confusing.
of people have their garbage
So it sits out there an extra day. It ain't no big deal. It's just
That's illegal.
That's illegal.
It's
Well,
illegal. It's a violation of
and,
code.
And let me add, Joan, just real quick too, with Eric here, that he is on a 6-year commitment, I believe, and he's served 3, so he's in until 17 till you have to make a decision of whether you're going to stay, make it a life or not. So. Yeah.
But being so different from regular planes, and if he likes it, I think that's terrific.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that if you don't work a day in your life if you love what you're doing. So, and I love it.
That's right. I agree with you, Eric.
Hey, Joan, you were in the Air Force, and your husband was in the Air Force.
No, my husband was in the Army.
Army.
This was way back.
Now, did
in
you
the
meet
50s.
him? Were you in are you guys like a military couple at one point, or what?
No. We went to high school together.
And then you went into the military together?
No.
Were you dating in high school?
Nope.
So
No.
you went off to the Air Force, and he went off to the Army, and then you met.
No, he just called me one day. We didn't get married until we were 29.
Oh, really?
So there was a long period.
So did you guys date for a long time, or what?
No.
How long did you date
from
for?
May to October.
So you met in the same year that you got married?
Yes. Well, we knew each other in high school, but we were in different cliques.
So can I ask you, you're Air Force and he's Army. I mean, no one has to worry about making the bed in the morning, right? Nobody walks out with, like, any sort of scuffs on their shoes, correct?
Hey, I made the beds.
All right. Talk to you. See ya. 219-845-1100. She wasn't going to let me get one on her, you know that? You don't get one on an Air Force gal, evidently. All right, last phone call, Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe, how are you?
Oh, pretty good, Jed. Nice to hear Young's voice like that on the air. I just want to remind them that, the VA has different surveys going on. If you were exposed to this and that, then, when you're young, you're invincible. But keep track of your medical things and sign up with the VA and make sure that you document what you've been exposed to. So later on, when your memory starts to fail and things start adding up, you'll have some documentation, some recourse as far as dealing with certain issues.
All right. Thanks a lot, Uncle Joe. Eric Sapyta is in here. He flies Blackhawk helicopters for the Army in Afghanistan. He's stationed out of Fort Campbell, and he's related to Bernie Zeman's godson. So, Eric, thanks for coming in today, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate
How'd you like
it.
being on the radio?
Pretty cool.
Were you nervous at first?
No.
All right, good.
He was our main speaker yesterday at the Memorial Day service for Highland, so he did a really nice job on that. So
what did you tell people?
I just told him Memorial Day is a day of reverence for the ones who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service of our nation, defending freedom and our way of life.
Do you ever go to Washington, D.C. and see the memorials?
I have.
What does that do for you?
It sends chills down your spine. You can't help it, especially when you're serving in the military, and then you go there and you see all the memorials dedicated to all the men and women who have served in all the various conflicts and wars. It's pretty moving.
Yeah, and I can tell everybody that I didn't go to there till I was 50, and then I went there once, and I actually went back again in the same year last year. It was just so moving to me to just see all that stuff. And I was watching a Korean War documentary the other day, and they had the one where the guys are walking through the fields and so forth. There, I mean, they're all very powerful, and I would just there's just another plug to tell people to go see that. All right, Eric, thank you so much for coming in here, and thank you so much for serving. And I think Carl put it best for keeping us free.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Bernie, thanks for bringing him in.